Welcome to our broadcast bakery, where you've enjoyed 12 scrumptious episodes of Pastry Puff Podcasts. And this is your Baker's Dozen free 13th episode. Or it's Unlucky 13 and Everything Goes to Hell. I'm Bryan Katz. He's the Road Dogg. Welcome to the Dog House. This is... Oh, you didn't know.
I just peed a little. It scared me. It's dark in here. Only light I have on me in here is this influencer ring light that
and it goes in and out, and your focus changes.
Communicate with aliens, I think. The phone, I mean, the light and the camera don't do anything. It's me that does all the, like, I'm sit back, then I lean up, and, you know. And so the equipment is working as planned. It's the operator that's malfunctioning.
Yeah, operator. So, as I always say to my dad when he calls me with computer problems, user error, error.
Yeah, and you gotta be, like, I'm smart enough.
Right, why is the Wi-Fi not connecting to the printer?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, that's my case as well.
Brian, what do you know about Excel?
Oh, I remember times when you and I sat down and had those same conversations. How do I get into this again? Thank God somebody showed me how to get in, or I guess one of y'all let me into the Google Drive. That's just me saying that. I want to punch myself in the face, but it's
story in the news.
Works, right?
Ready? Small companies are pretty upset. It just came out this week. Google now going to charge per user for companies to use Google Drive and those kinds of products. So if you got 12 employees using it, they're going to have to pay $6 a month for each of those employees. And Google is now going to say, if you're a company, you know, if you're an individual, they're going to give you free use. But as a company that's registered through with like the...
So this is for Google what?
For Google Drive, Google Docs, Google, all of their family of products.
All of the Google stuff.
And now someone's going to write and be like, you didn't read the story, did you? It was just
I did not. It was, well, no, my air conditioning was still on really high, so I was trying to cut it down while you were telling the story. I don't know anything about it, Google anyway.
Google.
Google them. I love to say it's worth a Google.
So you've had Ask Dog Anything live streams, you've done appearances, conventions, other podcasts. You're pretty much everywhere these days. You're getting out there.
I feel like I'm everywhere, but look, I do feel like it's time. You know what I mean? It's that time to where, and I don't like saying this normally, but it's where we're going to get into making BG James, Road Dogg, Brian Jane, whatever, a brand, you know what I mean? So I guess to successfully make it a brand, we need to come up with a friggin' name first.
The Brian James brand. I like it. You just steal Robert Strauss's bit right now. He got rid of his, so you just take the whole logo and everything.
Whole deal. But you know what I mean? Make it a brand and start trying to get my name out there and maybe some of my knowledge out there to help. I've been in talks with a local wrestling company, not too local, but a local wrestling company about doing something. So really excited about my future, and I am getting out and about and meeting everybody, and that's really cool because I feel like I've been hiding behind the camera for the past decade.
When you go work for... I'm going to interrupt you. When you go work for a new company, are you going to give yourself like a new name and identity and start over and start fresh?
Yeah. I'm Rich. I'm Rich Stevenson from Macklemore, Ohio. I don't know. I'm divorced, father of 2.
It's good. See, character development. It's important.
I got a whole backstory.
All right, as usual, our podcast is brought to you by our friends at Blue Chew, where they make it easy to get hard, especially when you take advantage of their free trial.
Listen to this and tell me what you think of this, Ryan, and I'm sorry to interrupt you. They make hard easy. What do you think of that?
I like it a lot.
I thought that was pretty cool. I thought of that earlier. I'm not going to tell you what I was doing. I thought about it, but go ahead and continue with the read for Blue Chew.
We'll pop that in on the end. This isn't even. This is the unofficial. We'll read later. So take advantage. Promo code DOGG. You know the deal. $5 shipping. Let's not forget Chili Sleep, where if you head to chilisleep.com/dog, you'll find a special offer on their hydro cooling sleep systems to help give you the best, most restful sleep you've ever had. Stay cool, comfy, and sleep through the night at chilisleep.com/dog.
So yeah, look, I would love to comment on that briefly. The last time we talked about chili sleep, I had just slept on it. Now I kind of got into trying to set it up. Like I can set it to cool down and heat up at a certain time. And I can do that all on my phone. You know what I mean? Like for an old dog like me to teach me those new tricks where at 5:30 it'll start warming up so that you wake up different. You know what I mean? Like it's really incredible stuff.
Old dog, new tricks. This guy's barking.
Amen. Amen.
All right, let's take it back to 2011 when you returned back to WWE and you made an appearance in the 2012 Royal Rumble. Here we go. You ready?
Oh, I wasn't then, and I'm not now. But let's do it anyway.
All right, you announced on your Facebook page. Do you remember this? You had your Facebook
I don't even
page.
know I had a Facebook page.
You announced on your Facebook page in early October of 2011 that you were headed back to WWE, and then it's reported in the Wrestling Observer that you were getting a 6-week tryout as an agent. Yeah. How did coming back to the company take shape?
So, look, this is a great story, and it's a great story about friendships in my life and relationships in my life and what I believe, and this is just me, God, people putting in my life that kind of carry me when I don't know what to do on my own. Thank you, Ryan, for doing this podcast, because that's exactly what you're doing right now. But Hunter called me and said, "Hey, what do you think about coming back and doing what we used to do, the backstage skits with DX and how we used to do that stuff? I think we could do that again together and be successful." And I said, "Well, heck yeah, I will." So he said, okay, cool. Let me get to work on it. Well, he worked on it, and it took him several tries because Vince was not keen on the idea. And look, totally understandable why he was not. I'm a known active, or at the time, active drug addict, in active addiction and not making good life choices. And so that was the last thing he remembered of me. And so he was a hard sell to get me to try out there.
And how long had you been sober at that point?
So I'd been sober about 10 months or 11 months, I think, when I got to go to Atlanta and induct my father into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if that was... I'm pretty sure that was prior to this conversation with Hunter. And I'm not 100% on that, but I'm almost positive that the conversation with Hunter happened prior to all this. So really I'm confused now, and I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But look, he called me and said that. In the interim, I got to go and induct my father in the Hall of Fame. And by doing that, I also got to go the day of the rehearsals and everything and spend some time with Vince, Kevin Dunn, just apologize to some people and look some people in the eye and shake their hands. And you know what I mean? Just kind of.
I was going to ask you, when did you actually bury the hatchet with Hunter from the previous shoot interviews and all the other types of stuff to make it where he reached out to you?
So to his credit, he never said a thing about any of that. And he just kind of thought, you're doing what you got to do to survive, or what. I don't know what he thought, because we didn't talk about it. And so right, wrong, or indifferent, that never came up. But he believed in me. He believed I could bring something to the product. And yeah, so they brought me in for a little bit to try me as a producer or an agent. So that's what I did. And we'll talk about exactly when I started and what pay-per-view and all that here shortly.
How uncomfortable are you when you go in for the Hall of Fame induction to go make those apologies, look eye to eye with the Kevins, the Vinces, and whoever else it was? Yeah,
so look, it was very uncomfortable, excuse me, but it was also a dynamic of my own design, if that makes sense. Like I did it. I caused that uncomfortable feeling, or else we would just be, hey, how are you again? You know what I mean? And so look, that was the time that I also cornered the Undertaker, and I'm not sure if it was the same time as I cornered The Rock, but look, I had some amends to make, and I thought, this is my opportunity. Either something comes of it or nothing comes of it. At least I get to clean up my side of the street, and then what maybe mend relationships going forward.
With you bringing that up, what was it specifically with an Undertaker or Rock? Because I don't remember a specific conflict per se.
So no, there was never anything specific with
just
either one.
Overall disrespect to the locker room.
So I had disrespected Rocky a lot in his younger years, and I've covered this too publicly, I was jealous of him. You know, he was the guy that could do what I could do, but also look like $1 million and was beautiful. You know what I mean? So I was jealous of him. He was a threat to me, and so I lashed out at him. And in my mind, that made me feel bigger and better. You know what I mean? It's a typical bully, and all I can, you know, give it to is drug addiction. Like, I was scared of him, and he posed a real threat to me. With the Undertaker, he tried to help me early on. He tried to help me when he saw that I was a wandering lamb, if you will, and he tried to pull me back in, and I totally rebuffed him and told him, you know, you don't know me, and I just totally didn't take him up on his opportunity when I should have.
So you got to make it all better.
I got to make it all better. I got to look at Vince. I got to look at these guys. And again, right, wrong, or indifferent, and it was uncomfortable, like you noted, but it had to be done. And if it had to be done for only me to be sober and stay sober, then that was plenty good enough for me.
And to your credit, albeit in an uncomfortable way, you're a guy or a man who is not afraid of confrontation. And when there is something to be said or done, I think you do, and I've experienced, walk up and make, you know, go face to face to deal with it.
Yeah. Look, and that happened. And so never with me and Rock. Like, literally, I told Billy a couple times, like, he's going to fight me today. You know what I mean? It was just that kind of, I don't know, man. I was really jealous of him, and I'm ashamed of that.
What's Rock's fighting skills like? How's that one lining up?
I don't know, but I was going to find out.
You're a soldier. You fight for life.
And probably get beat up in the process. But it was, I don't know. That was just where my head was at. And again, I was really scared of him, man, because and look, rightfully so, by the looks of where he's at right now.
There's a rumor at the time that Sanjay Dutt, current AEW producer, former WWE producer, was putting something together in India for a possible television show, and that you were in talks with him. What do you remember of this, and what was the role supposed to be?
So it was Sanjay was on the roster, I guess, but it wasn't so much his deal. It was Raka King, that a short-lived deal that was kind of on the back end.
And that was
of
through
TNA.
Jeff, right?
Yeah, it was Jeff Jarrett. And what me and Sanjay did, though, was we got together and we went to India, Sanjay and I, and we literally had auditions for professional wrestlers, and we had the most horrible rings I've ever seen in my life, and I thought if I had to bump in there, I would die. Sanjay was a huge star over there, way bigger star than I was. They loved Sanjay Dutt over there, and that was awesome, because I love Sanjay Dutt too, so we spent a lot of time together getting to do this. But again, auditioning like 250 Indian wrestlers. Some of them had taken a bump before and been in a ring. Some of them had never.
Just going for it.
Never. And literally, the big guy, his name is escaping me. No. The big guy that's at NXT right now.
Shanky.
No. The who was a teammate with Veer. The big
Saurav.
Sounds like
Saurav Gurjar.
Saurav, yes.
Saurav Gurjar.
He was one of them. Like, he auditioned for us that day. So
and he didn't have that lion mane of a hair, I don't think, at that time.
No, I don't think
we saw him in
either.
Saudi Arabia. That dude was majestic.
Yeah. And that's what we saw too. And it was like, I don't care if he's ever been in it. He's like a big, good-looking, Kushti wrestler or whatever. So yeah, we picked him way back then, and it comes around full circle to where I get to work with him again in NXT. You know.
Those international experiences and tryouts where you just see the world through a different set of lenses and eyes are out there. I mean, I got to go do it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were going to tell a story.
I was just going to say, out in Dubai, out in Saudi Arabia, out in Santiago, Chile, like, got to experience the world and see people who are trying to live their dreams and make opportunities happen. And a lot of them are really good, just don't have the size, the presence, and the other stuff.
Size, or they don't have the opportunity with a company that can that makes those wheels go around. You know what I mean? And so hopefully there's one for everybody out there. But I'm sad to say there's not. So what I was going to say is, I had just been sober not long. I went to India, and Sanjay is from there, so not from there, but he's Indian. I'm sorry if this is insensitive. I don't know what the flip I'm talking about. But he helped me along a bunch over there, and and really was the backbone of all of this. And we had a great time. But the first night, I drove through India in a taxi cab, Mumbai. Holy mackerel. never, if you've seen the Jason Bourne movies, I guess you've seen it on television before, but I never was in the middle of that. Tiny cars, tiny car, tiny car, tiny car, cow, tiny car, tiny car, cow, 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 tiny car, and it's just going every direction. And it's like, holy crap. Well, then we got to the hotel, and it was like a 5-star hotel with the bath, the TV in the mirror in the bathroom. Like, holy mackerel, this thing's, and I look out the window, and I literally see people laying on the sidewalk. And it was the first time I had been sober and thought about, thank you for everything I have. You know what I mean? And just kind of got thankful for a minute. I cried. I never seen that kind of poverty, I don't know is the right word.
And then separation, spread of class at that point to be 5-star. And
oh my Lord, and right across literally 40 feet from my 5-star window was people laying and I just thought, man, ain't they got a goddamn conference room or something they can lay, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's the first time I ever seen that, and it broke my heart, but it made me
appreciative.
It changed my perspective, you know what I mean? And it's that thought has kept my perspective that way too.
All right, we'll bring it back to the wrestling versus the people. Sorry. Can you explain to our listeners, what does an agent do for WWE? Agent, producer, whichever word. What do they actually do?
So,
because it's not, because it's a little bit, because some people are TV producers, some people are match producers, some people there's different versions of producers.
There's different versions, but look, what happened was it used to be called an agent, and my agent was like Jack Lanza, Rene Goulet, Chief J Strongbow. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of the other ones. But so those were my agents. Well, by the time I'd gotten back up there, they changed the title to producer, and basically it is. I think it was a smart thing. I think it is. You talk about TV producers and such. I think this guy has to be that in a way. I think the producer has to be. Look, not only does he have to be a former wrestler, and I feel like it has to be that way because there's a lot of things that are unwritten and unspoken rules that just wrestlers know and can help with that. But the producer puts the match together with talent. He doesn't put it together. A good producer doesn't. A good producer will let the talent put it together and then come back and make some tweaks or not. You know what I mean? Or look, like I said before, I was smart enough to know when I was the producer of Roddy Strong and Matt Riddle, like for 25 minutes on a pay-per-view and a takeover, and I thought, I don't wrestle like any of this. I don't know any of this. So I just literally talked to them, gave them some advice, but I didn't really think they should take it because I was just trying to talk about television stuff. So I think he has to be a wrestler, but he also has to be a television producer. And what I mean by that is he should know camera angles. He should know cameramen's names, camera numbers. He should be and have a great relationship with the director, which is it's not Kevin Dunn per se, but there's different guys.
The person who's actually calling the person
who's
shots.
who's actually running the whole thing. Excuse me. And so you want to have a great relationship with that guy. But look, you sit down with the talent, you let them put their match together, you give them critiques, you walk around the ring, maybe we should do it here. And if you're a producer, like Vince wanted them to be, that's why he changed the name, then you can help them with, how do we shoot this from a television standpoint to tell the best story visually. And so then we can start talking about utilizing our cameramen and cameras, and usually we have 9 of them, for a television, and then maybe a roaming camera somewhere too. But you can utilize all those to tell this great story to the viewer at home. Now, it may not come off to the live event crowd that's present right then, but the viewer at home is who you're working for on a TV day, because you got 4 million people, 3 million people, whatever, opposed to 4,500 in the arena. Mm-hmm. So you play to the television, and if you're a good producer, you can help them play to the television audience a little more. Now, then once that's said and done, you can either walk and talk through some of that with your director or your shot caller, I guess. But I think once the match starts, to have that open communication and to be able to communicate it in in a way that.
So now you're able to pass camera cues and information like that.
Hey, here's what we're coming up on that big DDT off that back left buckle. You know what I mean?
Hide someone coming in.
Now I just gave everybody a heads up to, hey, that back left buckle is our viewing point, and now the guy in the truck can start moving, cameramen can start moving, you know what I mean? We can start looking. So a good producer is like a television producer. I actually love that he did that, because I think you should be empowered if you've been in the business that long and you've been working that long and you have this ability to help these younger kids out and help it make the TV show good all at the same time. Like, holy mackerel, that's an important job. I hated that I got fired from mine.
We still have more to talk about, but we've also got another new sponsor to talk about. And Dogg, this one's real cool and something I think all of our listeners will enjoy. So since they always hear from me, I think we're going to let you take the MIC and tell them all about RECTEQ and their grills.
Time to tell you about RECTEQ, an amazing company that offers wood pellet grills fueled by all-natural hardwood pellets, along with other outdoor lifestyle products such as coolers, apparel, grill accessories, and more. Look, with grills ranging from $399 to $3,000, RECTEQ has grills for every lifestyle and every budget, with a key focus on flavor, convenience, and versatility. Their factory direct pricing eliminates the middleman, and all grills ship free. Plus, all RECTEQ pellet grills are made with high-quality stainless steel and are built to last a lifetime. The RT700 comes with a 40-pound pellet hopper, 702 square inches of cooking space, the PID Wi-Fi controller, and a 6-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. You can bake, smoke, sear, grill, and even dehydrate on the grill, all with the push of a button. And that's why those in the know choose RECTEQ. So it's time to toss that tasteless gas grill, messy charcoal grill, or even that overhyped brand name grill aside and join an elite wood pellet grilling family. By focusing on flavor, convenience, and versatility, RECTEQ sets the new standard in grilling. Visit RECTEQ.com. That's RECTEQ.com. Use the code BJames to get 5% off site-wide. That's 5% off their top-notch wood pellet grills, one-of-a-kind RECTEQ icer coolers, chef-tested rubs and sauces, accessories, merchandise, everything at 5% off. That's RECTEQ.com, and use the code BGJames. Excuse me, it's not BG James. And use the code BJames.
Dogg, I was telling my dad about RECTEQ, and he said to me, he was like, Rye, those wood pellet grills are very good. That's going to be a good one. They're very good, Ryan. They're very good.
The guy that delivered it literally said it was the third one of the day, and they come on a freight truck. They came to my house on a freight truck, and some of the handles on the front, we just started putting it together. I actually did today. I actually didn't get it completed, but it has like handles or like horns, like the RECTEQ bull has the horns, and they're the handles. Super cool. Super durable, like it's high quality steel, and man, I can't wait to fire it up and check it out, because wood pellet grills is where it's at, and RECTEQ is who the people who know choose.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I always talk about eating plant-based, but don't think that I don't like to put stuff on the grill and get some smoky flavor, dehydrate some tofu.
Dehydrate stuff with RECTEQ. Yeah, I got the RT 590. I know they got a flagship of the 700, but I got the 590. It's a Cadillac, man. I'm really loving it.
And let's paint the picture for those who really are unfamiliar with the aspect of when you're in the back calling the match, during the match, in Gorilla or in the truck. The amount of screens that you're looking at, how do you keep yourself focused to really, as you're looking at each camera and you're looking at what's the on-air cam, what's coming up next, what you should be, how do you maintain that? Because you actually built a real skill set for being good at that.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, look, again, communication, clear communication with the truck, relationship building communication, you know what I mean? Like you gotta be like that, because I'm gonna say, mother, blah, 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 and they're gonna say, shut up, you know what I mean? And it's all gonna be fine and dandy at the end of the day. But so that's what's the strong relationship, because look, you're flying by the seat of your pants and shooting from the hip 10 times out of 10 on a live television show, and man, it is so energetic and so fun, but it's hot hot buttons. Hot people are getting hot on there. And so you got to learn that too. Like, we got to have thick skin. We're going to work together. We're going to do it. I'll apologize later. You know what I mean? Or I'll apologize beforehand, whatever. But yeah, good communication. And then, excuse me, what helped me, Ryan, was, the actual guy in the truck has to look at everything and literally say, get ready, camera two, ready, camera. He has to, I don't have to do all that. So what I had the luxury of doing was sitting and watching all those same shots in Gorilla and knowing what I wanted what the story I wanted to be told visually. So if I see a crowd shot of a little boy crying or whatever, I can go, camera three, that boy's great, that's money. You know what I mean? Whatever. And so it's just helping them do their job. They do their job very well, but it doesn't hurt to have a educated set of eyes helping you along with that.
So
I don't know if that made sense.
It does. So 2011, you're brought back as a test role for this, and are you excited to be a part of it, or are you a little trepidatious about it being different?
No. So look, I'm an open book, and I kind of always have been. So I go in just keep my mouth shut and listening. But I said a few things that got shut down really quickly, and I was told later, blah, 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 we don't do that no more, blah, blah, you know what I mean? So I caught on, and I sell if it's personal, but I know there's never personal. They dog me a little bit, whatever. It's all part of the gig. But yeah, I knew all those guys. I knew most of them. Mm-hmm. Some rules had changed. Some things had not changed. Some things had changed, and they made me think more to get around them. So they asked me to be more creative to get around them. And the example I was going to use was the double feed in a hot tag of a tag match. Mm-hmm. Used to be both guys can come in and you would just stagger. One guy come in, bump, the next guy's right there, bump, double feed. Well, he outlawed that. And so how do you utilize the other person on the ring? And I spent a lot of time thinking about that. And the Usos implemented a lot of stuff that we talked about, and New Day as well, utilizing that other person. It just made me get more creative. It made us get more creative and go, how can we do this? So he's not allowed to come in the ring. How can we do it? And look, if we had five hours tonight, I would give you an example. You know what I mean? Because I love doing it. It's what I think I love to do. I have no idea what we were talking about.
No, we're right on track, and I'm not even going to hit the button because we're in there.
I'm so jacked.
Was there anyone on the roster at that time that you were excited to work with? And I'll just refresh you as you came back. Zack Ryder, Drew McIntyre, Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, Mason Ryan, Primo, Dolph Ziggler, John Morrison, Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, David Otunga, Michael McGillicuddy, John Cena, Alberto Del Rio, Daniel Bryan, Heath Slater, Tyson Kidd, Brodus Clay, Justin Gabriel, Ezekiel Jackson, AJ Lee, Caitlyn, Natalya, Tamina, Big Show, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, Christian, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, CM Punk, The Miz, and R-Truth.
Ricky Bobby, trademark. Holy mackerel, yeah. So look, I had worked with everybody I thought, but there was some new guys. Randy Orton was one I had not worked with before, and I was excited about the opportunity to work with him because from the other side of the fence, from the creative standpoint, Randy Orton is who you want on your roster, and you get because you. Holy mackerel, you get to use that legend killer Randy Orton on your television show. And so that was really cool to me. Who I ended up spending the most time around in all actuality was Miro and Lana. Mm-hmm. I had his whole year. He was undefeated.
So that was a little bit later on the timeline when we come back.
Yeah. But this was when I was still producing, though, mostly producing, not so much the writer yet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this was a different kind of a job description. But yeah, I got to work with them a lot, and I enjoyed working with them. We kind of have similar mindsets, but I also got kind of pinned early on with all the entertaining stuff. You know what I mean? Like, Mello, whatever the basketball players' names are, that came on the show and did Miz TV. Like, I was producing that.
The balls,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Monty Ball. No, I don't know what to say. Monty Python. But they when they would come in and they would do, Michael Strahan comes in, does a Miz TV. I'm the producer on.
Were you,
know
around
what I mean?
for Bob Barker, and were you around for the Muppets? Those two would have been incredible to me.
So I was around for the Muppets. I wasn't around. I don't think I was around for Bob Barker. If I was, I just didn't see him or take part in that. But I was around there for the Muppets. Anytime we did anything honestly entertaining, it was just like, Bryan, you got that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got it. And I loved it.
It's great to be
in
that position. I would think.
It is, because it's fun, and so that's what I look like. Hopefully, I brought some of that to the screen, and I know I did when I was writing SmackDown.
So let's take it back in the years. So we're still back in time, 2011-ish. When you came walking back in, what was the locker room like at the time that you observed? How was it different? It had been 11 years or so since you were there in the past.
Yeah. I had seen some guys that were there now from TNA and on the indie circuit and all that stuff. So it wasn't like I was in unfamiliar territory, but everything had changed. And also I had changed. You know what I mean? Like, I was probably maybe a year and a couple months sober at this time, and my life had started to change, and I had started to live my life differently. You know what I mean? Which is kind of how I still try to do it today. And it's very simple. Hit the thing now, because
and this isn't the sober era.
Yeah.
We're just talking general locker room.
General
locker room vibe and atmosphere.
So there was a big change, because I couldn't.
This
do
is
that
the video
anymore.
game era that you're walking back into.
Yes, and look, it was very different. Nobody drank a ton or did drugs. There was a few guys that you knew went out, but they didn't show up drunk, or they didn't miss the show, and so. You're not gonna, no blood, no foul. And so it was different, but like I said, I had changed a little bit too. And I also was looking at this from a different perspective. I wasn't in the locker room, because that's not where I belonged. I didn't belong fraternizing in there with the younger talent. I belonged producing their matches and maintaining a sense of somewhat of authority. Like, I represent the office, so I have to represent the office. You know what I mean?
You being a playful, youthful, jovial guy, is that hard for you to hold on to that?
It was extremely hard. And I got...
Speaking of hard, hit the blue chip. No, just kidding.
Making hard easy. I want a T-shirt that says "Make Hard Easy."
We'll remember
and you
that.
can do HRD, make hard, and then EZ. You can do, this is a whole hashtag.
But now you're actually combining where, like, you get your Blue Chew with some Hardee's or Carl's Jr. at that part with the...
Yeah. Hey, who doesn't love a good cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger in LA, not too bad of a thing right there.
That's what I call a Friday night. Or a Sunday morning.
All right, back to business. Are you working directly with Vince or under someone else directly? Walk us through that process.
So at this time, when I'm on
in
my
the trial,
6 week,
probation.
when I'm on my 6 weeks trial, it's John Laurinaitis, whom I'm reporting to, and he was like, he wasn't in charge of everything then. He might have been in charge of everything then, but he was still in, like, the head producer.
Yeah, if we're at the end of 11, this is before a bunch of execs changed out.
Right. So he was, but he was still like the head producer, and if anybody got called on the carpet, he would do the calling, and that was the case. So I reported to him for sure. But during that time, I got to work closely with Vince and Hunter both, and you know what I mean. So it wasn't like I was under an umbrella or anything. Like he watched me perform, and he saw what I was doing and how I was doing it, you know.
Let's put your analytical hat on. As high as 5 million viewers are watching Raw when you return, and here we are 10 years later now, and we're hovering on Raw and SmackDown with an average of about 2 million viewers. Where are the wrestling fans going, and where's the viewers going, man?
Yeah. Well, look, I don't have an answer, and even if I did, it wouldn't matter, because people are going to fuss about the ratings, but I for one think it's an archaic measuring system that's out of touch with reality. I think if you look on DVRs and people that, if you could calculate how many people are watching the YouTube clips I think the people are still there, and I think WWE does exactly what they say they do. They put smiles on people's faces. They're a family organization. Now, look, wrestling fans can be mad about that, the PG era sucking and all that, but that's big business, man. That's what he's doing that for. The other company does the same thing. So I forgot what we were talking about again. Shit.
You're having. Man, we were on fire for about
I know.
30 minutes strong, and
let's-
now we're just taking a
cry.
little.
Yeah, maybe I should start drinking again.
Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Hey, yeah,
we'll keep
yeah,
you clean.
I won't.
We'll
I
keep
won't.
you
Maybe
clean.
maybe we can lose this part. What were we talking about?
Numbers, but it's okay. I don't even think we need to lose it. I like where
yeah.
you're at. What did you enjoy most, arena shows or TV production?
Well, look,
Live events or-
I loved them both. It's fun. It's funner on the live events. It's funner because you don't have the limitations and the parameters. Time being the most important one. But you also can like go outside the ring and spend some time out there, and you know what I mean. Like on TV, it's like get back in there. So look, I love a good live event match, but when I got back up there and I got into the production and the writing and the doing all this and seeing it come to fruition on television or on pay-per-view and go, holy mackerel. So I love a television show, man. I love when a television show comes off like it's supposed to. I love when you see that trademark come up there and you go off the air and you go like, heck yeah, you know what I mean? Like that came to pass. What we saw just came to pass, and we didn't do any of it. We just came up with it all, and then like 40 other people went out there and executed, and it came out. You know what I mean? So look, TV to me will always be special.
Support for Oh You Didn't Know is brought to you by Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, and a company that always supports your balls. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle for all around your grundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, just like Road Dogg right there, with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code DOGG at manscaped.com. So if my math is correct, we're talking about 8 million balls.
Man, that's a lot of balls.
A lot of balls. I had been using my old razor to shave my balls. We're going to get personal right here because I didn't want any cross-contamination with, the razor I was using on my face and head. But the old razor was, well, old. And I was terrified about getting cuts on my nuts. And not just the nuts. It's when you do that section of the shaft where you have to do like a lift and pull.
What are we? Did you say nut cuts?
Yeah, nuts were cut, man, and the nicks and nicks on the pricks.
What Manscaped is all about.
Absolutely, reducing the nicks on pricks, cuts on nuts, and all of that it has to do. I'm telling you, when you pull the shaft and get that little spot where it connects, and it's like you're afraid you're gonna like cut the jugular or something, but no.
I don't think there's a go ahead. Sorry.
We're gonna cut off some blood flow circulation or something, but now that my Performance Package 4.0 arrived last week, it's a game changer. Inside this package, that's right, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer that Dogg is using and showing right there, the Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner if you just want a little, a cool little pick-me-up, Performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. First off, let's talk about this Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, I'm going to say it, probably the greatest ball trimmer ever, man. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, and it has a 400K LED spotlight in case you need to get a look and a more precise shave.
Or someone escapes from prison.
Dogg, this trimmer's waterproof, so if you're making that escape, you can take it with you, because when you get out, you're going to want to satisfy your needs, and you're going to want to have some clean balls at that point.
Self-care is what this is.
You can say goodbye to the mess on the bathroom floor, because with the waterproof stylings, you can go take care of it in the shower and let it just go down the drain. The light is great, waterproof, forget about it, and let me say I was able to get that intersection of shaft and scrot with less fear, less friction, and a smooth blade feeling that didn't bite. And when you've used a bad razor, you know what that bite is I'm talking about. Okay.
I'd rather have a rattlesnake attack.
If you want to take your grooming game even further and up to the next level, the Performance Package 4.0 also includes that favorite product that dogs hold in the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and provides proprietary skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. Their Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner will change the way you approach your hygiene routine. And trust me when I say this, fellas, your balls will say thank you. Manscaped even...
But my left one only speaks Spanish, so it says muchas gracias.
Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. They're warm, they're snug, they're comforting. You're going to like the way they feel. I don't know if I can say that guy's laugh. It's time to take care of yourself. So go to manscaped.com and you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping with promo code DOGG. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOGG at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DOGG. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Was there anything you struggled with in the transition of this role, or was it a really quick learning curve for you?
So this sounds braggadocious, and I don't mean it that way, but it just came easy to me. Mm-hmm. And it came easy to me because, look, I believe, and so I'll use this analogy. Arn Anderson came up a generation before me. So the generation before me wasn't talking about camera angles and how should I stand here for you to shoot me on my entrance? When are you going to play my music? Like, they didn't talk about any of that. So I was brought up on the precipice of, I believe, or the, that's probably screwed that word.
Precipice.
That's what I meant to say.
Precipice.
Thank you. It's a precipice. You understand. I'm friggin' Mike Tyson over.
I like it. You want to get that bong rip deal. You want to get that Mike Tyson cannabis deal. This is a setup. This is you. Oh, you son of a bee sting.
I'm
Brian
clever.
James, you son of a bee sting.
That's how we used to do things too. Like, things happen out of nowhere, and you go, "Yeah, we meant for it to happen that way."
All of a sudden, tomorrow, you're signing a 6-figure deal with Tyson to sell CBD gummies.
I will, Mike, if you're out there.
Precipice.
Yes. So, what was it? Oh no, I was on the edge of being in there when it was all TV. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of changed. During that period of time where everything was TV. Now it's the Monday Night Wars, and it's all TV. And so I kind of knew stuff about that already anyway. So going into that producer role, I have a vision. When I hear the match and I hear a suggested finish, or I'm thinking of a suggested finish, I am executing it in my head as if I were the performer, and then I can translate that to the performer, and they can tweak it, they can do whatever they want, because look, the Road Dogg ain't going to do stuff that, Adam Cole's going to do, or the Road Dogg ain't going to do stuff that Killer Kross is going to do, whatever. And so here's what I would do, but you could do, and then we just spitball and come up with it and have a good time,
So let's go from the talent tweaking those ideas to the big bosses tweaking the ideas. How much do the scripts change throughout a day of TV?
Yeah. Well, look, you're probably going to write 6 or 7 scripts, and look, script changes.
Some can be small changes.
They can be very small changes, and you
still get a new
a whole nother script for the change of verbiage in this promo. But truth be told, if that stuff. If the truck doesn't know about that, and I'm the only one as a producer, I have to relay stuff like that. Promos, on this word, you need to sit on his face for a long time after this word. You know what I mean? So you're working with talent, with the producer, with the director, and you're putting together this television show that's live, and so it has to be done without a flaw, and that is so impossible, but so fun to try.
Your first pay-per-view back with the company is Vengeance, and it features The Miz and R-Truth defeating the tag team of Triple H and CM Punk with Kevin Nash's help. Randy Orton defeated Cody Rhodes. Big Show and Mark Henry ended in a no contest when a superplex destroyed the ring, and Alberto Del Rio won the WWE title in a last man standing match over John Cena. What memories do you have of that show from San Antonio?
So I remember
like San Antonio. I thought it was.
Thought I was in Detroit. No, I remember it was Texas, and then we did the TVs all along the coast. But so I didn't do much on that pay-per-view, to be quite honest with you. I kind of just came in and sat around. I trailed Michael Hayes a lot, talked to him because I know Michael, and so I thought, oh, I'll stick with him. He knows what he's doing. He's from here. Excuse me. So I didn't do too much. I do remember the ring collapsing because I remember rehearsing that and how I thought it was so cool. And so, yeah,
So let's break that down, because rehearsal, like in my mind, I feel like that's a one and done, and maybe you get one shot to rehearse it, and then it's the shot live. Do you get to do it a few times?
So we like to do things once that are stunt oriented or gimmick oriented. So yeah, we did it. We had one try. We did it. Everybody was happy with how we did it. That's how we're going to do it tonight. You know what I mean? And so yeah, but if it hadn't have been good or hadn't have,
had you ever seen something like that before?
Never in my life. And it immediately opened up my mind to, holy mackerel, what can we do to have somebody lift the ring up, and you know what I mean, like a Royal Rumble where 3 people are left, and here comes Adam Shear or whoever, Braun's, and he comes down and lifts the ring to where they fall backwards over the top rope, and he just drops it and gets in and goes, yeah. But look, it started immediately going like, oh, what can we do here now that we can do this with these hydraulics and all this stuff? Boy, they got some great toys here.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's announced that The Rock will be returning to the WWE for the first time in 7.5 years to team with John Cena at Survivor Series from Madison Square Garden to take on R-Truth and The Miz. How big of a deal was it for Rocky to be coming back to the company at this point?
Well, he was already a huge star, and it's The Rock we're talking about. So always a huge moment, always a cool moment for me, because he gets only a certain kind of Fiji water and the Red Line energy drinks, and he has a refrigerator stocked full of them in his locker room. And so when he's out rehearsing, I go and steal all his drinks, his Red Lines and his awesome waters.
Tweet that. What do you think about that, Rock? That's where the missing drinks went.
I told him, hey, do you mind if I get a... But he was already a huge deal. And so for him to be coming back was another huge deal. For him to be working and in an advertised match, it was a really huge deal. And so, yeah, I think it was awesome. I think the bigger question is, when you hear this a decade later, you go, Miz and R-Truth were teaming against Punk and Rock. But it worked, and it was actually really cool. I thought it was great.
So how involved are you in the creative process at this time? Is this more so just that producer and you're tweaking angles and matchmaking, or are you actually influencing some ideas?
So look, I'm not influencing ideas yet, and I don't think I started doing that until I got in front of them as a member of the writing team, and I didn't go straight to lead writer of SmackDown. I went to join the writing team and just was a member of the writing team for a while before that opportunity came up when we were gonna, split the brands again or whatever.
It's always fun to have an ally. Who is your favorite agent to work with?
Well, when I was a worker, it was always Jack Lanza, because he didn't care what you did.
And then back in this role, when it was just were there other people that maybe you wanted to run ideas by before going to the big boss?
It's Michael Hayes. It's Michael Hayes, man. He's the go-to. And you think what you want to about Michael Hayes. Michael Hayes has been making money and making a lot of people money for a long time, because you get there and you sit in the inner circle and you find out quick, this dude's an idea guy, and most of them are good. You know what I mean? And so I hooked my wagon to him as quick as I could.
Favorite writer to work with?
Steve Guerreri, I'm gonna say. He was him and Johnny Russo were and me were like the lead writers of SmackDown when I was the lead writer of SmackDown. Buck kind of stopped with me, but they were my right and left hand. So Steve Guerreri, he had a great. Oh, Johnny has a great. Especially for me, because I'm a hothead and I'm quick and I want to talk fast and I want to do all this. So Steve and Johnny both had a really good demeanor where they could go like, okay, let's talk about this for a second. You know what I mean? And Steve Guerreri was really smart. He was a really good writer, and I enjoyed working with him a great deal.
All right, we're chatting, we're talking.
I didn't even when I was performing, I didn't even know if we had writers or not. I don't know what.
You just did your own thing, and it didn't even matter. Man, we've been going for a while, so let's take a little bit of break because we're getting into the business. We're building a bridge of professionalism to your past experiences, and let's take a moment, talk to our listeners of how they can build and have a better quality of life with a better night's sleep, courtesy of Chili Sleep. Yeah, we got to change the tune up on this one, too. Science tells us that the best way to achieve and maintain consistent deep sleep is by lowering core body temperature. Temperature-controlled sleep repairs muscles after a hard day's work and improves cognitive function, so you always start your day feeling sharp and alert. Chili Sleep makes customizable, climate-controlled sleep solutions that help you improve your entire well-being. Chili Sleep makes the Uller and Cube sleep systems, hydro-powered temperature-controlled mattress toppers that fit over your existing mattress to provide your ideal sleep temperature. These luxury mattress pads keep your bed at the perfect temperature for deep sleep, whether you sleep hot or cold. These sleep systems are designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and give you the confidence and energy to power through your day. Imagine waking up and not feeling tired. Chili Sleep can help make that happen. And for an extra layer of comfort, they also make the Chili Blanket, the only weighted blanket that can also be paired with a control unit for the ultimate sweat-free sleep. I used to sleep very restless, pulling the sheets and blankets everywhere and constantly flipping and fluffing my pillows, making a mess of my bed to make in the morning. Since using Chili Sleep, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm comfortable, and I'm sleeping steady, waking up with the sheets and comforter pretty much in the same place they started, and my energy levels are high when I wake up, just like I have throughout the day. What? And I've been feeling phenomenal thanks to my Chili Sleep Uller. So head over to chilisleep.com/dog to learn more and save 30% off the purchase of any new Cube or Uller sleep system. This offer is available exclusively for You Didn't Know with Road Dogg listeners, and only for a limited time. That's Chili, CHILI, sleep.com/dog to take advantage of our exclusive discount and wake up refreshed every day.
Hey,
it's not just me, right? You love it.
No, it's not just you. I tell you what, I put that, you told me like put it on 60 or whatever. It'll go down to like
55, I think.
Yeah, 55, I think. I put it on 60, and man, it don't take long to get cold. And then I put it on like the 115, the warming one, just to try it out. And I thought, oh my God. Then I started looking into, I can program on my phone a schedule as to when to cool and heat, and it's crazy. I love it.
Mentally, I can't go to the heat mode because I'm it's
yet.
gonna be.
Oh my Lord! It's
and then I'm in Florida. I don't know if it's degrees. I don't know if winter's ever gonna. But bring it to my parents and my sister in Chicago and.
I want that. They also have like a heated blanket or a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
You read about it in the read just now. That's where I heard the genius idea. All right, I'm sorry.
Let's get back into some dirt in the timeline, but it's not your dirt. It's someone else's, but you just happen to be there for it. It's announced that Evan Bourne is suspended due to a wellness violation due to marijuana. Being someone who got yourself clean, what did you think of the drug policy of WWE at the time?
Well, look, look, they got a strict one too, and it ain't no joke. And when I went back this time, it was the first time I had ever gone back thinking like, well, you can P-test me, I'm clean. That was literally the first time ever. And so as I did for my job,
suddenly the fanny pack just had wipes and nothing else.
Yeah, there were just travel wipes and like blood pressure medicine and some Lipitor. And that's about it now. Sometimes I live on the edge like and I'll take a nighttime Alka-Seltzer. Bro, talk about Chili Sleep. You take a nighttime Alka-Seltzer and set that sucker on 60.
See ya. Wake up in the morning.
Heaven on earth. I'm so excited to get in my bed tonight. I don't even know what you were talking about, Ryan.
What was we're irrelevant, I guess. We're just trying to pop a question about drugs.
The wellness policy. Yeah. I can't remember because of them. But look, they have a tough policy, and I think they're rightfully so. They had a lot of people pass away on their watch, and that's not. I don't think that's on them. I just think it makes you weary and make you go like, okay, you can have your prescribed stuff, and you can do this and do that, but you can't go crazy. You know what I mean? And so, look, I do think marijuana. Which I'm not sure of this, but I think is different now. And I do think it should be looked at differently. I think a lot of states have made it legal now. My wife, who has a lot of chronic pain and has had neck surgery and bolts in her neck and everything, uses medicinal marijuana for a lot of pain and sleep, and it's done wonders for her. So
yeah, I think WWE took the Amsterdam stance where they didn't legalize it, but they decriminalized it for those who use it.
Yeah. And look, that's smart, because look, when I was there the first time after we talked about that WrestleMania payday was cut in half off of marijuana fines, and I just thought, what in the world? Okay, take it. I don't know. I'm high. Don't do drugs, kid.
You won't get high.
Boss man.
All right, who was the first person to yell at you over something? This is a fun one.
You know what? There wasn't.
Oh, you got yelled at. Come on.
So the first time I got talked stern to, and which is more scary if Vince talks stern to you, was Tyrus. So he was Brodus Clay. So I had his match because he was entertainment. So I was his agent. I was his agent a lot too. I loved working with him, by the way. Smart dude. Always loved to have a great conversation with him. So he was wrestling two people on Superstars. It was a handicap match. So the two people shot him into the ring or into the ropes. He came back and he double clotheslined them. Well, Vince doesn't allow double clotheslines, and I didn't know that at the time. And so
I don't think I knew that now.
No. So he just held, the two guys threw him in. He just held his arms out. Boom, double clotheslines him. Boom. So you do that a lot, especially in a handicap match. I actually thought it was fitting still to this day, but this is how he teaches you. The first time you make that mistake, he came to me and we had to do that match all over again. They had to go back out there and do it again. And don't double Irish whip him and do the double clothesline spot at this time.
So what's it like walking up to the talent and say, we got to go do it again? I
was actually talking to the talent and telling him what Vince had just told me, and Vince walked up right behind me and stood there with us, kind of telling us. And I was like, I told him, I said, look, that's on me. And then Vince afterwards was like, don't take blame for that. And I was like, well, I'm the producer. The buck should stop with me, right? And so I don't know. Look,
it's their fault.
Yeah. I love him. The gravitas is so. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. Screw it.
Who finally sat down with you after 6 weeks to bring you in full time? So that becomes Johnny?
Yeah, it was Hunter just called me and said, look, do you want to do this?
You got the gig.
So that was right, wrong. I say that a lot too. Right or wrong. Hunter contacted me for a lot of stuff because of our relationship. And he would just say, look, when you get here on TV, they're going to ask you to sign some crap. And then Mark... what was Mark's
Carano.
Would have crossed the T's
has
and
to do
the
the contracts and the information.
Yeah.
Celebratory meal. Do you remember being excited that you had a full-time gig back with them?
No. I mean, I kind of felt like I did anyway, because I felt like from the get-go it was a really good fit, and I felt like I had something to offer them. Not that any other agent didn't, but they were older producers who were like the Arn Anderson, like I talked about. Arn, while he is so great in the ring, and he was literally one of my favorite wrestlers growing up, and his promos are to die for. Like, he's one of the best promo guys ever. And so, but he had, like I told you, he came up a generation before me. So while I'm talking about this TV stuff, he's not with me. You know what I mean? And there were some of those. And so I felt like it
So I used to hear that Arn, after live events, when having to go write in the producer's report, as not being a tech guy who can go type the report, would have to call Carano and like verbally recite the report for Carano to type at like 11:30 p.m. Friday, Saturdays.
Well, look so that's another thing, talking about time differences. Back then, Lanza would call, Jay Strongbow would call and leave a message on a recorder at the studio or at the office and go, everything went well, no injuries, here's the gate, we're going to the next town. You know what I mean?
7,434 for a gate of 132,876. Last time in the venue, main event was
now that's what when you get this producer report, man, you almost got to be stinking you got to be
good with computers.
Yeah, you have to be good, and so that's why that's invest in the future too with younger guys. That's why now I was that guy like Arn Anderson that they removed and put in younger guys who can do that kind of stuff, and they got the same thing to offer, just not as much experience. You know what I mean?
I love when I see your phone, and not that I see your messages, but when I see something pop up and realize that like your screen has like 4 words at a time.
Oh yeah,
because the words
the font is so
big.
huge. The only time my future son-in-law yesterday grabbed my phone, he was like, I want to help you, but I cannot read this font. I was like, he said, there's like literally 2 words on your screen right now. I'm sorry, I'm getting old.
So now you're back in the company. Is anyone reaching out to you as a hookup to try to get back in the company?
Not this early. But as I got in there, yeah, I mean, that happens. But look, I've done the same thing since I've been released.
So I was just going to say, so like when things change with the structure of change that's going on right now and you're back, I would be like, Dogg, want to speak to them?
Then Jeff went back up there in charge of live events. And so it made me think, like, well, look, maybe, second chances are not uncommon with these guys. So maybe there's a chance. And I would love to go back up there and work. I would love to work under different circumstances, but I still think I got something to offer.
I mean, it's got to be part of the legacy of every superstar to get fired once. It gives a good chapter in the future book,
alone
right?
Twice.
Who was your favorite person to work with just coming back?
As far as talent?
As far as talent, so you got to help produce some matches. So who did you like to work with and see their development and growth?
So I know everybody's going to laugh at this, but I'm dead serious. I loved working with Khali. Khali was a guy who was respectful, but he would also tell you, no, I'm not doing that. I go, okay, well, look, Khali, you don't have to do that. But what I'm trying to start the ball. I'm trying to start the conversation. Maybe he come in, give him boot. Oh, perfect. Let's do that. So I actually loved working with him. And in all actuality, he knew what Khali did really well, and he didn't try to do anything other than that. And so we had a great relationship, and we had a good time working together.
Let's go back to that Rock match coming back for Survivor Series. How amazed were you that Rock was able to get back in the ring and just be the Rock again after all that time?
Yeah, well, look, so I'm amazed for one thing.
But he's got the whole the team.
Yeah. Here's
he's
the
got
deal.
some resources.
When it comes to him coming back, he's always in great shape.
It's got to be tough for him to keep up his diet.
Yeah. Work on the diet for the pay-per-view
personal
body.
chef coming through.
But you do make amenities or whatever for guys like him. He probably had somebody, and I don't know who that somebody is. I know when Brock did it, it was always Curtis Axel would go and they'd have a ring set up somewhere and they'd go work out or whatever. And so I'm sure he was getting back into ring shape before he got in there. And look, that's what every great performer does. Back in the day, you'd see them before it was every month a pay-per-view or every 3 weeks a pay-per-view. You'd see them get pudgy and then diet and get ripped up for the big pay-per-view coming up. You know what I mean? That's how it used to be. And now he just stays in shape all the time because he's in friggin' movies all the time now.
I joke about having the resources to have a chef for your trainers, but you still got to put in the work regardless.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. I mean, he has a guy show up that is his punching bag and work partner, but he's still got to get in there and do it. And he's still got to get back in shape to get in there and do it at that level, main event level. of what pay-per-view did you say it was? SummerSlam?
I think it was Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
I'm probably the idiot in saying it wrong.
That's okay.
No, it was.
It's probably Summer Series. Survivor shots.
Did you know that Rock versus Cena was going to be the money match at this point? No, still developing.
No, I did not. I'm trying to think about that time. No, because I thought maybe this was a one-off type deal when he came back in. Mm-hmm. As I got into the behind-the-scenes deal a little more, sitting in on meetings and well, maybe I have Bryan sit in on this meeting. And so then I started sitting in on creative meetings. I started hearing stuff like that, but It was later,
After Survivor Series, CM Punk went out in the media talking about Rock not shaking hands. Do you think he was working an angle? And what was Rocky like backstage for the show? Do you remember any of this going on?
I do not remember. I wasn't that high up yet. I don't remember what matches were on that show, but I probably had like the Santino Marella or something like that, which I love, by the way. He was my favorite wrestler. He was my favorite wrestler for like a decade.
Mm-hmm. Everything you gave him, like you give him the stupidest idea in the world, and they make it gold on TV.
And I'll never forget when he. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Rock shaking hands or not shaking hands, and
I don't know.
CM Punk causing a little stir.
Look, it's so Punk. I believe Punk was two things: going into business for himself in a good way, like starting conversation, and it was basically starting a conversation with the grassroots wrestling fan of this big Hollywood guy went away, and now he's coming back, and they want me, the workhorse, to wrestle him, and you know what I mean. And so it was the plumber versus the movie star, and so he needed to say like, hey. He wouldn't shake my hand. He needed something. The story needed something. And so whether that was true or not, I liked it. I thought it made something there where there might not have been otherwise. And look, Punk is a guy that will cause trouble. He will say things to wrinkle your feathers, and he's done me that way. And I always say, well, let anybody push your buttons unless you let them, and I agree with that. I let him. But he can do that. So I can understand how Rock being a little standoffish and Punk being a little, I guess standoffish is a nice way to put it too. I can understand there being frustrations putting that stuff together.
You're brought onto TV in Norfolk for the Raw Super Show Slammy edition, where you announce CM Punk is winning Pipe Bomb of the Year. Whose idea was it to put you on TV and for you to make that announcement? Yeah,
it was one of the writers, and I don't remember which one. I want to say Ed Koski or something, one of the high up writers. Just thought, oh well, he's here, he's in house, he's known for his promos. Have him do it. You know what I mean? And it's
they got to save some money with you, Dogg.
Hey, you get me a black hat, I can turn backwards, and a DX shirt, and we're in business. You know what I mean? And they got me. It was great though, because look, stuff like that keeps you relevant. You know what I mean? It keeps you in the public eye. It keeps you out there, and keeps you fresh. So I enjoyed doing that kind of stuff.
All right, I'll do a classic tease and build up some anticipation so that when we come back, we're going to chat more about CM Punk, the Pipe Bomb promo, and your appearance on the Slammy Awards.
Do we have to?
Edition of Raw.
This is getting controversial.
But before we do that, let's get the blood flowing, those endorphins pumping, and the music thumping, because it's time to do the hard work easy. And we try to pump up that pecker, because guys, the temperatures aren't the only thing that's rising this summer. That's right. This episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, confidence can take you far in life. It can also help in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. That's where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew's a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity spontaneously arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Best part, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward, uncomfortable conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Hey, this guy needs dick pills. Everyone... You don't gotta go with that anymore. Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package.
Blue Chew.
Women say there's nothing sexier than confidence. And Blue Chew can help give you the confidence where it counts. So if you can benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DOGG at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code DOGG to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
We're making hard easy. I've just come up with a new tagline for it.
That was wild.
I loved it. I love that. It's like an outer body experience.
Hey, can we get a price check on this guy's dick pills?
You know, hey, truth be told, it's the awkward conversation, man. Look, I'm at that age and I have heart issues, and so it's like, what do I do here? So I've had those awkward conversations, and for you to be able to have this stuff sent in a discreet package to your house, but nothing discreet.
Promo code DOGG.
I can do it with a straight face. DOGG. All
right, let's get into it. What did you think of CM Punk at this time? He was building the controversy, and he was creating something that was resonating with the section of the fan base. You were building something that was heating up.
100%. And so again, I say this quite often, and it's my motto. I'm smart enough to know I ain't smart enough. What I did not see in him, all the fans did. And so it's none of my it's not up to me to keep him from being over. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't have done that anyway. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And had you seen the promo in the summer?
So yes, I had seen the promo and I was following it and everything, and it was a but what I want everyone to understand is, yes, they were his feelings, but like, I know the guy that wrote it with him, and so it wasn't as, oh my Lord, you know what I mean? I don't know. It wasn't all just like he went shooting on everybody. But I guess that's what the viewer thought. So more power to him. MJF, like that was a pipe bomb, but also a work too, or how'd he stay on the air? You know what I mean? You don't get to go out there and call the boss every name in the book and we keep your microphone on. We send some security out there to haul your ass out of the ring. And if security can't do it, I'll come out there. So,
so Slammy Awards, you get to give the award for Pipe Bomb of the Year.
Yeah.
And the crowd reaction from your for your return was wild. Was this a big moment for you?
Yeah, well, look, it always feels good because it's me and it's not Billy and it's not me and Billy. It's just me, and so I'm always the insecure one, right? That goes like, oh, do they remember? Will they know? And so me walking out there and them remembering who I was always made me feel really good.
Let's go watch this. This is fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
We won't talk over it since I'm talking.
It's me. It's that D-O-double-G mob, and one more time with the WWE. Y'all have to bear with me because I'm trying to keep all my verbiage PG.
He can rhyme.
You see, that's a tall order for the D.O. double, but I'm trying to be a good boy and trying to stay out of trouble. But I don't think they'll mind if I say this right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight the WWE proudly brings to you its 2011 nominees for Pipe Bomb of the Year.
And then the talk. Let's watch.
All right, who's ready for some field tripping?
Yes.
Green Bay, Wisconsin! What's up? Here's what's up, R-Truth. We're in Milwaukee, you fool!
Follow along, please. Go like
Obama
this.
impersonator.
Oh,
Then like this.
They ain't like these. No. I
You have any involvement in that? You said you work with Santino because of comedy.
Not yet.
Riley! You want a shot of whiskey?
What?
Vodka?
What?
Anything?
What?
Randy! Randy! Jimmy! When little Jimmy come marching home, hurrah! Hurrah! When little Jimmy come marching home, hurrah! Hurrah!
Anything he touches is
the
gold.
rooster.
And can you believe he's like 70 years old?
C-O-N. Conspiracy? If I see a spider, the grits gonna hit the pan. Zach, why they got a t-shirt? Miz, I just had an epiphany.
You think this is a joke? You think we're joking? No, I don't think it's a joke. Oh, you're probably right. He probably needs medication, that's all.
Man, you crazy.
Look at that shot right there. Eve Torres off me. Shuck it, ducky, quack, quack.
What?
Here comes Rey Mysterio. He's going to fly. He got caught up in the light skin. Here you go. He's going to fly. Whoa.
How the closed captioning person handle that one?
Oh, my goodness.
Shucky ducky with the greatest of ease. This is ridiculous.
I stole all of my line, my signature stuff. There goes the Red Bull.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah, you said.
It doesn't matter what I say.
I said
Wait,
that wrong.
this got to be
What
your
you should
bull.
be concerned with is the rock size 15 boot rising up and kicking him right in his lady parts.
You want to see the text message my little sister Shalene sent me last night? OMG, Kevin Nash, WTF, thought he was dead, LOL.
What is this?
What does it look like, idiot? Hey!
And by the way, Cena's lady parts trending worldwide.
We may never make the announcement. He'll let this go on all night.
Savor the moment.
Stop the pay.
Sir, I'm afraid your music is just too loud.
No, afraid I can't make the family reunion this year.
He looks like a tool.
I know what you are, but what am I?
You are delusions. You are out of your mind. You're kind of pathetic. You are perfect.
Trying to get over. Nobody pushes that Bryan. You understand? John, what's up, bro? He's on my show. He was on my show.
You need to tell me in front of the WWE universe that you respect me.
Tonight's milestone episode of SmackDown moves it into second place on the list of the longest running history of the longest running milestone in the history of weekly running television programs. Well, where are my WWE ice cream bars?
Oh, my Lord. How do you pick
I
a
don't
winner
know
out
if we
of
should
those?
talk or not.
And the winner is your WWE champion, CM Punk.
All right. Wow.
Well, I guess that's rather
Cut that. We're
appropriate.
going to get licensing issues right there.
yeah, we'll cut it before it will say CM Punk. And then,
So I didn't prep watching the clip. I don't remember how funny and entertaining that was. That was
Well,
nonstop laugh a minute.
yeah,
laugh a
it's
second.
really, like truth is always gold. And Teddy Long is as well. Anytime he had scripted stuff, it was funny to watch. But yeah, so that was great. I had a great time. I don't know.
So now you're in this producer and agent role, a producer role. So I don't know why I just said agent. Now you're in the producer role. So we're not talking about your career anymore. We're talking about other people's
careers. That's fine. I like that better.
So Daniel Bryan cashes in his Money in the Bank contract and defeats Big Show to win the WWE World title at TLC. What did you think of Daniel Bryan as this is pre the Yes era? This is before this started.
Yeah. So I got to be honest with you. I think, look, I think the Yes thing made him. I know Daniel was a hell of a worker. I know Daniel could work circles around me in my prime, that's for sure. I know Daniel can do that about around most people, and he's a great worker. But I think at this thing, I think the jury was still out, but the decision had been made because people had seen there's something here with this kid. There's something here with how small he is and how this is tenacity and how hard he fights. And there's something here. This was the first step in, let's see if we got something here. And then I think it transpired into, look, I think his relationship with Kane and the dynamic and Team Hell No and all that, hugely a huge part of him becoming a character I was invested in as opposed to a really good wrestler. You know what I mean?
I was in those anger management sessions with them along with Scorpio Sky. We were both in
is that
those.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll be darned. Yeah, so look, those were hilarious, and they were great television, and it was a good dynamic between the tag team, and it was like, every night it would be, yes, no, okay, come here. And it was just, it felt good, and it was good. You know what I mean? It had a feel-good vibe to it, but they were also great wrestlers, and one of them was friggin' Kane. You know what I mean? Yep. So, I don't know. I thought that was
what
great.
A career he's had. Man, TLC also featured Triple H and Kevin Nash in a ladder match. How did you feel, or did it even feel odd seeing these two in a ladder match while you were in that producer role?
Yeah, it was odd. And look, but everybody knew it too. So it was constructed from that. It was by design. Everything they did was by design. Like Kevin shouldn't be climbing a ladder. That's what we were talking about, right? Kevin and Hunter in the ladder match. But it was also like, okay, ladder match is a thing. How can we how can we do this without them having a 5-star wrestling match? Because that's not what they were going to have. And I think the ladder came into a play where they could utilize that. And I thought they did great with what they had,
So we're going to stir up a little bit of dirt and stir the pot with this quote from The Observer, and then maybe get your perspective and truth on this situation. Quote says, Vince was pushing Del Rio to be more aggressive and more physical, to not work the sometimes softer lucha style. And he pretty much needs to come across as projecting more of a killer in the ring, and that's why Del Rio's forearms and kicks have been harder in the last week or two. Is this true that Vince was telling Del Rio to lay it in and kick some, and make it real?
Yeah. Well, look, so I love the athleticism and acrobatics that go together with doing a great lucha match. I love to watch a good lucha match, but he can't just be another lucha guy. He's a big, muscular, beautiful man. You know what I mean? Like he needs to stand out. And so what Vince was trying to do was just get him away from the lucha thing. We can go back to there. If you work with you work with a Ray or whoever, we'll go back to your lucha background, and we'll stay focused on your lucha heritage. But yeah, he needed a butt kicker in there, and Del Rio had done some shoot fighting before, so it was like, hey, I don't need you to beat people up, but we need you to be aggressive and get on people. And we were running with him. You saw he beat Cena in that pay-per-view we just talked about, Last Man Standing. So they were pushing him, that's for sure.
So with that comment, we don't need to beat people up, but we want to make. Do you think that gives talent the liberty to say, I'm gonna be pretty liberal?
Yeah, I'm gonna be stiff in there. And look, that's the difference. Is if it were me and they came to me and told me that, I would go right to my opponent that night and go, hey, so they want me to be excessive in my physical violence or aggression, so I'm going to do that, but I'll be as safe as I can, and I'll take it as good as I give it. And so that way, at least we know going in, I'm not just taking liberties with you.
Right.
I'm following orders, and I need to be more aggressive and more, and if that means stiff, then that's what it means. I'm still going to be safe, but I might get snug with you. And we would just have that conversation. And look, I've had that conversation with a lot of people going out there for hardcore matches. Is look, I bring that crap, and I expect you to bring it too, because if you don't hit me and I sell something, I'm going to be mad. You know what I mean? Like if you do something behind my back and I don't sell it, you just ruined our wrestling match. So, I don't know.
When Vince has a directive like that, is that something that he talks to the talent himself, or does he pass it to you as the producer to then pass on to your talent?
So he would pass it to the talent themselves, but he would also pass it to the producers. It would be a note made sure of, and somebody like Johnny or the lead producer would say
redundancy.
The next day at TV or whenever would say, hey, friendly reminder, we've asked him to work a little more aggressive, so we want to stay on that. Whoever's producing his match, you know what I mean? So the message would get out there.
Hot topics. How you doing? Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, is arrested on 3 counts of drug possession in late 2011. What was your relationship like with Sean at this point? And if it was good, did you reach out or anything?
Yeah, definitely it was good. It's always good. And I did reach out, and we had a bunch of conversations. And, you know, he was always under the impression that this is not going to happen. This is going to go away. And sure enough, it did. I don't know if he got anything out of all that at all. But he was under that impression from the get-go. Look, he was always a very outspoken advocate for legalized marijuana. And he traveled with things on him, and you know what I mean? And he didn't mind doing it, and he didn't mind telling an officer if we got pulled over and he said, I smell weed, X-Pac could go, hey, that's mine, here's the bag right here. You know what I mean? Like, he just didn't have a problem with it. And truth be told, they're not going to call you back to some town in Wisconsin to go to court over $10 worth of weed. So I was in touch with him. I'm always in touch with him. One of my dearest friends.
Are you giving a heads up as we're coming to the end of the year about you being in the Rumble? Did they give you time to prepare, or was this a spontaneous thing?
Well, so it was a spontaneous thing, and I had about a month to prepare. I had not quit smoking cigarettes yet, so that was a big problem for me in the match. During that match, I got so blown up after hitting my stuff. I just got down in the turnbuckle, and my brother Scott was a ref on the outside, and he just came to me and he said, just breathe. And that sounds funny to the person, but like at that point when you're so blown up, you literally need to stop thinking of everything else and just breathe. You know what I mean? And so he was talking me through it all, and I thought, oh God, here comes, I got another part here. I got to feed back up for something. But the funniest part to me, look, I appreciate Miz and Cody Rhodes both came to me and said, please let me be a part of the jabs. And I was like, thank you. Let me do something. Let me get something in before I get beat up. Right after that, though, if you see, if we ever watched it or you watch it again, you'll see Jack Swagger, big raw bone shooter Jack Swagger. Like, he was, after I did some stuff, I looked and there he was, and I was like, no. I just backed away from him because he was beating people up and I didn't want to get beat up by Jack Swagger.
Whose idea was it to put you in the match?
The writers. You know, there's always a nostalgic pop. Like I when I was doing the Rumble, I fought hard to have Bubba Dudley come in Philadelphia. I just thought, man, that's one you don't want to miss. You know what I mean? Even if he doesn't do anything or win, his music hitting in Philly means something. So I don't think that were the case, but they had a guy in-house that could get a nostalgia pop. It didn't matter if he won or lost. Get the pop, do your jabs, get crap canned, and you know, the check is in the mail.
Chirs Jericho returns to the WWE beginning of 2012. What did Jericho bring to the table back then?
So, like, look, his creativity, like him and Kevin Owens, but also Jimmy Jacobs, Chris Schofield, same guy, Jimmy Jacobs, Chris Schofield. He was on the writing team for a minute. He wrestles as the Zombie Princess, Jimmy Jacobs. He is a genius, and I think he's the lead writer now for Impact. So he's got a great mind. It is outside the box mind. So Chris worked with him closely the whole time they were there, and I know Kevin Owens is a really funny and naturally gifted guy. So he helped out a lot too. But yeah, Chris brought creativity. You know what I mean? And experience doing television, where we're teaching the John Moxleys and the you know, the other guys of that era, like how to be a wrestler on TV. Crap, you're gonna have to hit that ball.
Yeah, I knew that one was coming. Yeah. We felt that one fading. Let's everybody take a drink.
You know what I mean?
All right, we could move past it. We're just trying to get you talking about Jericho. Maybe say something to be like, that dude's a prick or something that, look, so we can get some headlines.
So I don't think the dude's a prick. I think he's done extremely well for himself. Have he and I had our differences? Yeah. Was I jealous of him also when he came into WWE back in the day and I was in active addiction? Yes, because he came in getting a push and beat me twice to do it. But you know, nobody's remembering anything like that, Chris. But like, that's the kind of stuff back then that bothered me. You know what I mean? And I think about it today and I'm like, oh my God, what pathetic existent man I am, you know. But yeah, no, Chris brought creativity and experience back to the game, and so it helped the Kevin Owenses, the John Moxleys. It helped people see. He led by example.
Let's talk about someone else in the Conrad family. Ric Flair is announced as being part of the Hall of Fame class and to be inducted again as a member of the Horsemen, but he's currently at this point under contract to TNA. What did you think of all that?
Whoa, just craziness. You know what? I never knew any of that dealings. Like, I didn't know if they were in cahoots with TNA I didn't know what was going on. I was still kind of just trying to be entertaining and be a good producer at this point, you know.
So more on the business side of things.
For sure.
The WWE Network is being prepped for it to be a go. What did you think of this move and having all the pay-per-views then move to the WWE Network, eliminating the pay-per-view model?
Yeah. Well, look, it was scary to me because it was all I had known, the PPV model, and holy mackerel, you're going to put it all on a network, and but look, the idea, and had the market probably not changed, this probably would have happened. What the vision would have like a one-stop shop for everything wrestling, and it would be that WWE Network. And I mean everything wrestling. Like, that was the vision, was we're going to wrap everything under this umbrella, and you go to this place to get your wrestling, no matter what brand it is. You know what I mean? But I was terrified, and also I had no idea. Look, I still don't have any tech savvy. I'm not tech savvy at all. I don't get any of it. But it was scary. I was scared because I thought, man, what if nobody subscribes? What if you do? You know, it was just a whole change of a business strategy. And the other one was the only one I'd ever known. So this was terrifying. But like he does time and time again, he gets out in front of stuff and makes it happen. And I remember when they said this thing is a go, they still didn't know how to have a network, how to run a network. But that's how he does it, by the seat of his pants. We can do this. Now make it happen. You know what I mean? And then he has the people around him. He surrounds himself with that team that will say, yes, sir, and do it. And so they didn't even know how to operate a network when they announced we're going to have a network.
And figuring out how they're going to encode, how they're going to put stuff in. All right, let's stop, take a breather, and we're going to listen to how we could take care of our families and loved ones, courtesy of Goliath Life. And when we get back, it's time to rumble. Rumble. Rumble.
Oh, God. I'm scared. I'm not that good at wrestling.
Psst. Who's going to take care of your family if something happens to you? What would they do without your income? If you don't have a plan, you need to go to GoliathLife.com. Get a quick quote for more than 20 carriers. You don't even have to leave the house. If you need a medical exam, they'll send somebody to your house or office. You're in total control. You pick the rates, you pick the payments, you pick the terms. You're in total control, but it gives you and your family peace of mind. What if something happens to your income? Hurry to GoliathLife.com.
We're at the Rumble now here in St. Louis. I probably should have given an intro. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
And we're at the Rumble now here in St. Louis. And I have to ask, Dogg, when the match is put together, can you explain how it works? How does the Royal Rumble come together?
So I was on the Royal Rumble writing team, and what they do is they get like Michael Hayes and me and Jamie Noble and one Adam Pearce was on there one year, the year he got there, because he was a fresh set of eyes. And so we wrote the Rumble several years in a row. And it was extremely fun, but it's extremely difficult because you're coming up with parts of the match. And you got to think about, okay, there's going to be a really long match with everybody coming in. You got to have different segments. Is there entertainment in there? Then you got to talk to the 30 people. Then you got to get their input. Then you got to take all that back to Vince, and he says yay or nay. And then you go back, and maybe you have to tweak. So it's like herding cats to write the Rumble. But then when everybody gets in a room and you start and Jamie Noble pitching the Royal Rumble should be a pay-per-view, whatever they're calling new pay-per-views nowadays.
Premium live event.
It should be a premium live event because it is the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life. He's also a wrestling idiot savant, so he knows everything.
And that's just going through talking about the action that this guy's going to come in at this number and he's going to eliminate so-and-so until so.
Yes, and we come up with all the eliminations and all that, and then we go back and look. We look at that thing 100 times. Which does this guy need a run right here? Who needs a run right here? Somebody needs to get rid of some people right here. We need to clear the ring. We need to, you know what I mean? So it's about a 4-day.
Work process.
Probably 24-hour total work process and that's just to get it in a place where we feel comfortable going and pitching it to Vince. You know what I mean?
Just structure. And,
that. Then we got to go to talent. Then we got to go. Here's what we're planning.
Do spots get worked out, or is it a lot of winging it at that point?
But spots do get worked out, but they get worked out in between the talent. You know what I mean? Like the talent will say, look, in between this elimination and that elimination, I'm going to do this thing where me and you do this. And that's how my jab spot gets in there. Somebody goes out, here I come in, I slide in, duck one, bing, bang, boom, here we go. You know what I mean? So it's doing that 30 times and then trying to make 30 different superstars stand out in some way, all while making one stand out the most. You know what I mean?
Right. So you come in at number 23 for this match.
And I thought I had it. I'm just kidding. I knew the finish. I didn't have it.
I had an old roommate I used to live with, and we used to tell, it used to be the pitch that anyone could enter the Rumble, and it was the one. We used to tell him this was the one match of the year that was real, and if you were able to eliminate someone, you can get that shot. And they'd buy it, and it was great.
Oh yeah. Well, that's not the case. It's not the case at all. Like, they threw me out of the ring, and I landed on my fat ass.
You get a real good reaction. I'm going to say, how did you feel? You're going to say, look, every time I'm in front of the crowd and they make...
Yeah. Well, I did feel good. I felt good coming out because of the response that I got initially. So I felt even better once I got in there and started doing my jabs, and they start chanting, "You still got it," or whatever. And then literally right after the second set of jabs, I couldn't breathe. Literally till we got to the next town that evening about 3 a.m. Like, I just blew up so bad because I was in such bad ring shape. It was horrible.
All right, I'm feeling froggy, so I'm just like grilling you today and poking and stuff.
Yeah,
this one's funny because Dirty Dave, the Dirt Digging Observer, had this to say where he starts to compliment you, but then of course couldn't leave it at that.
He never can leave it at that. He hates these Armstrongs.
Quote, Road Dogg was next in at 34 minutes. He got a good pop and looked good in there. The crowd was chanting, "You still got it," at him, and seconds later, the place went quiet.
Hey, he ain't wrong about that. Old Uncle Dave ain't wrong about that. It's nostalgia. Hey, I like you. I want to see you do your thing. Okay, now I could care less about you. And that's just how it is. I felt that same way on this whole second run. Like, it was a cool nostalgia pop, but like they weren't invested in us anymore. And that's by design. I hadn't been there in so long. So old Dave wasn't wrong about that.
I just like seeing one more. Jey Uso was next at 35-22. He did his father Rikishi's running butt bump on Road Dogg, but the crowd was quiet at this point. And then repeats the same line. No reaction to Road Dogg by that point either.
I don't know, Dave. I don't know why you hate me so much. But I don't care really either.
Barrett threw you out at 39:05.
It takes a good man to beat me. It just don't take him long.
You're in for 5 minutes, but how crazy are those 5 minutes? You're breathing hard.
I literally don't remember anything but my brother telling me to breathe, and then I remember I got to get up so Wade can throw me out. I shouldn't have. I had no business being in there. Let's be honest.
So working with guys like Jay and Wade Barrett, how is that? Fun?
It's so fun. So fun. Look, I got to work with Usos later on a little more, but Wade Barrett, I'm a huge fan of Wade Barrett. Everything he does, by the way, he's a star. He's a top-notch
I like act. When he commentated Ultimate Beastmaster on Netflix.
Yeah, I did too. I don't even know if he really did that. I thought that was a Monty Python guy. But Wade Barrett, huge fan of his, so I thought, this guy, let him throw me out.
Were you happy with the appearance?
Oh yeah, 100%. Look, it let me know right after that I quit smoking cigarettes. So that literally was the reason I quit smoking cigarettes at the time. I had quit taking drugs, but I was still smoking cigarettes, and I thought, man, I don't want to be smoking these cigarettes if I'm not drinking or doing drugs. What am I smoking for? And so when I had that occurrence happen, and I'm dead serious, we drove 3 hours to the next town after that pay-per-view, and even then I tried to smoke a cigarette and I couldn't, and I couldn't catch my breath. It was like it hurt so bad in my lungs. They were burning because I was fat and out of shape.
Other than performing in the Rumble, did you agent any matches on that show?
No, not that one. I actually said, hey, can I please not have one, or if I do, can I follow somebody, you know what I mean, where I can they can kind of do the producing and I can just kind of skate around with them, you know.
Anything else you'd like to share about this return, you being back in the Rumble, 10 years since previously being a part of the company, the excitement, the energy, anything? You're like, no, it was just
well, I was waiting
night.
for you to finish and I was going to go, nope.
And then I stole
but
your
no,
line.
I
What
didn't
a
know.
prick.
I know. I can't take you anywhere. I love the commercial where the girl goes, look at me, I'm eating lasagna. That's you guys. I don't know why that came to me. But yeah, no, look, I love that. I loved working there. I was just starting to kind of feel my oats. I don't know if that even, I feel
my oats.
I don't even know. I don't know why I said that or if that's even a thing.
It's like Wilford Brimley when he's like,
yeah.
I'm here to feel my oats.
Tell you what, I love a good maple and honey oatmeal. Nothing makes my heart tick like a. Anyway, yeah, I love that time. I love that time in my career. But it was funner for me to work on behind the scenes than it was in the ring, and that's why when I had that second run in 2014 or whenever it was. With the Uso, where we took the titles and dropped them to the Usos and did that. I came back for that reason. Like when Hunter gave me that thing, like you could come back and drop it to the Usos down the road, and I thought that's really cool because it's not about us. You know what I mean? It's about the future. We'll give you the past for a second, but only to remind you how good the future is. And so I thought that was a really cool opportunity that they gave us. And so, yeah, I loved working with Jay and Jimmy. I never knew them apart until I got to, like, after I'd been working with them for like 5 years. I was like, wait, you're John. I'm not smart.
So I would always run into him at the PC separately and in rare and brief instances. So there was no way to ever figure it out.
Well, now I know them apart. Now I do, honestly. But it's still, I don't know which name to call them. But I also don't know which name to call them because they're John and Jay, but their names are Jimmy and Josh and Josh and all this thing. I don't know what their flipping names are.
All right, we got one more segment of fan questions, so let's take a minute for y'all to grab your financials so you could save some money on your mortgage with Conrad. And that's right, we're going to save with Conrad and come back with your questions.
If you could change one thing about your home, what would it be? A new kitchen, a new master bath, maybe put in a pool? What if you could do it with no money out of pocket and cheaper monthly payments? SaveWithConrad.com can help, and you can even skip your next 2 house payments. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender, SaveWithConrad.com.
All right, we're back.
We're back with your questions.
Johnny K99 wants to know, did you ever have any talent come up to you and yell in your face?
No. But I do have, and this is like we're on that story. I do have how much time do we have here? So I got a minute. Me and CM Punk almost went to blows when I was a producer on a live event. And we had to get called into Vince's office at TV and make nice and shake hands. So that's some of the, like, I don't know. I never thought Punk was what Punk was, but again, I know he is what he is. I know he's hugely successful in this industry and over. I give him all the credit in the world. I just didn't get it. I see it now. I still don't get it, but I see it. So I know it's true. But me and him didn't see eye to eye early on. He was the champion at the time. And it was about like how he was carrying himself as the champion. And I had a discussion with him that he obviously didn't like being talked to that way. And so the next time I saw him, it was not yelling in my face. but it was, well, I was yelling in his face. I'll put it at that. He was a lot more professional and calm than I was at the time.
Johnny K99 also wanted to put over the hashtag, can't you hear that fizzle sizzle?
Ooh. I don't
Mike
even know what that means.
Rummins asks, did Road Dogg have any reservations about how the crowd would respond, and how long did that high last when you came back into the locker room following the appearance in the Rumble?
Look, the high was literally a high because I was lacking oxygen. So I went straight to the back and laid down on the ground. But yeah, no, look, the high lasted. My endorphins and that adrenaline got me through all of it. So the high was pretty good. But yeah, I was really blown up.
Our friend at It's Joey Ding Ding would like to know, I would assume you were...
Prado, you son. Go ahead.
I would assume you were nervous before your music hit. What match or moment were you most nervous for in your career? Do the nerves of producing a match or TV compare at all to the nerves when you're actually performing? Love you, dog.
Jiminy Christmas, Prado. Is that a 12-part question? No.
He wants to know about your nerve balance.
Yeah, look, he knows about my nerves. He knows about my anxieties. I would say they're similar, but for me, I would much rather produce a match than have to go out there and perform, because when I'm out there performing, I might get caught up in the moment and not do something right. When I'm backstage, I'm not caught up in the middle of something, and I can actually talk the talent down if we need to settle down or do something different. I can control that from back there. So I guess for me, I'm a control freak. It's more of a sense of control if I'm a producer than if I'm a talent. I was nervous every time I walked out the curtain. Every time. To this day, still nervous. I get nervous before we start filming here. I'm not even kidding.
I agree.
My anxiety is off the roof, but I try to manage that with mindfulness. You know what I mean? If you're conscious of this stuff, you can get through it, you know?
Chris Brooker at The Brooker Man, another person I know from the UK across the pond. Were there any particularly satisfying times when you helped a wrestler have an aha light bulb on moment, either in ring or as their character?
I can't remember one off. That's a great question, by the way. And I can't remember one off topic but like, I would like to think that me and Miro and Lana, for that 1 year, we worked very closely together, and I would like to think that I had some influence on their television acumen anyway, as far as presentation. And so I really feel like I loved working with them, and I really feel like I had influence on their television presentation.
Sarah Walker at Sarah Wah, and then I think it's just her phone number.
No, don't read it out.
What are your thoughts on the DX split? By the way, I love the match with Waltman at SummerSlam back in 2000. So just in general, I guess we're going back.
Yeah. Look, I love the match in 2000 with the kid too. That's when I was like really in active addiction, and I could have gone one way and I went the other, and that was. That's the rest is history. But what was the other part of the question? Not the 2000 match, but
the DX split. What were your thoughts on split?
So I was brokenhearted. Because look, what's better than having one guy by your side? Having four. So I was, and one of them be a girl bigger than you. So I didn't want that to happen. When they tried to split me and Billy up, and this is a true story, I literally cried tears in Vince McMahon's office and said, I don't think I can carry this on my own. I didn't believe in myself. And Vince talked me up and talked me out of there, and I was like, walked out of there feeling great, and went on to do the Intercontinental and the Hardcore title, but I had already started really going down a dark path with my drug use and stuff by then. So, yeah, I had a great time, and thank you for your question. I will text you later since you gave your number.
From our YouTube viewers, Stefan Babinek wants to know, can you tell us about a moment where your counterparts have caused you to break character mid-match?
Oh my God, every single night. If you watch any of my matches, I'm sure Billy will make me laugh, or the other person will. Like, yeah, I was horrible. I'm like Jimmy Fallon. You know what I mean? Just couldn't keep it together. Always go to pieces in the middle of it. But I think there's something to being able to be that comfortable in there with some guys too. And so again, I don't remember one, but what was his name again? This guy has the best name in the history of names, I think. Stefan
Babinek. And maybe
what
it's
is it
Steven.
again?
Stefan Babinek.
Oh, it may be Steven.
It could be Steven.
I hope it's Stefan.
I think it's Stefan.
Babinek is cool.
I like
that should
Stefan.
be like Tom Cruise's name in his next movie where he's
it's a vintage 1976 Stefan Babinek.
That's a Stefan Babinek.
It's got a malty taste.
It tastes earthy.
Ken Williams has a 3-parter for you, Doug.
K-Dub.
Was there ever a move that you wanted to try, but once you tried rehearsing it and said, no way, I'm not doing that?
Well, the one I've brought up a bunch of times is the teetering off the ladder into the dumpster on the dumpster match. I went up the ladder in the ring and during rehearsals, and I looked down, way down there at that dumpster.
Down where?
Down there. Way down there. Yeah, from under. It was way down there. And I literally looked and I said, I'm not taking this bump. Billy, you take this bump. And he called me all kind of names and he took the bump.
Part 2, who threw a harder potato, Bradshaw or Hawk?
Hawk never threw a potato because he didn't know how to throw a regular punch anyway. So it was you just always got hit really hard. But Bradshaw was a man, and wrestling him was fun, but it also hurt really bad. But that's the sadomasochistic part of being a sports entertainer / professional wrestler is I love to beat people up and get beat up. I don't want to get punched in the face, but did a million times. I don't want to get kicked in the face, but did a million times. And so Bradshaw was really good about hitting me very hard in very safe places. And as weird as that sounds, I loved every minute of it.
I prepped you that this was going to be a 3-parter, but this 3rd part comes in 6 different subsections. No, I'm just kidding.
Subset A.
Can you share a story of a receipt you gave to another wrestler and a story about a receipt you got from a wrestler? I like this one.
Yeah, that is a good one. So I don't think I ever gave a receipt to anybody, like got them back. I think it was just a very physical affair every time we were out there. I do remember the one time I
That's
tatered.
the best new wrestling shirt. Wrestling, it's a very physical affair.
That's actually very good. But, oh crap, physical affair. Not this again. Bradshaw. Is that where we were at?
No, we're past Bradshaw. We're just on receipts.
Oh, well, that's why I was going to say Bradshaw. Like, when I remember working with him when we would work in Milwaukee and Chicago, and we'd do 2-a-days, and we'd do an afternoon show in Milwaukee or Chicago, and then drive to the other town or Green Bay or whatever, like right along in that Midwest area. And so we had a 2:00 show, and Bradshaw was in the ring, and I tagged in, and I did something, and I rolled over there and punched Bradshaw in the forehead really hard. Like, did it on purpose because I was messing with him. Did it and then went and tagged out and never got back in the ring. So I got him, and I knew he never had a chance to get me back. Well, we were driving to the next town, and Billy reminded me, we're working with these guys again. And so like 5 hours later, I was there to Bradshaw going, please, man, I'm sorry I hit you that hard. I was just trying to backtrack out of it. But he gave me a whooping like he did every time.
Amazing.
It was amazing, man. We beat the crap out of each other, and then you go back and you just hug, and you go like, what the world are we doing?
And that's what we got for the week, man. Next week, we'll be discussing the infamous DX and Nation of Domination feud, the parodies, Jason Sensation, the long-standing rivalry, the matches, working with Rock and Owen along with D'Lo, Sexual Chocolate, and Kama Mustafa.
Okay.
That's next week, man.
That's next week, bro. We're here now. What are we gonna do right now?
RoadDoggLinks.com. That's where you can get everything. You can find the links to all of our sponsors like Blue Chew and Chili Sleep, Save with Conrad, Goliath. You can find the Road Dogg social information. You can find his Pro Wrestling Tees store. You can find everything.
The internet is the best.
BoxOfGimmicks.com, BoxOfGimmicks.com. Get the t-shirts. RyanIsSmiley.com. That's my happy little site. HowToBeProWrestler.com. We're just going to keep doing .com.
Yeah.
BlueChew.com, promo code DOGG.
Dog.
ChiliSleep.com/dog.
Dog.
Dog. Dog. Dog. Dog. Dog.
Sit, boy. Sit. No. Well, your ass better call somebody. Goodbye.